Oh, I was nervous as hell, man. I was very nervous, and it was my first match, and if I'm remembering right, it was like the opening match or one of the first matches. So, I was scared shitless. Went out there, didn't know how to get the crowd to react. Although looking at the tape, I was trying. I just didn't really know what was going on. But you gotta start somewhere, right?
At what point did you and Mercury McLeod, did you do any tag team stuff in King Style?
We sure did.
Okay, so at what point did you bring it up to Jeff and say, hey, we want to be a tag team, or did you guys, who was booking at that point if he was hanging out in the car?
Well, he I guess he was booking. We ended up calling a lot of our own shit, and actually, he ended up one time we were cutting a promo in the ring, and this is right after we actually started out feuding. And we built that to a climax, big blood match where we just beat the shit out of each other, literally. And out of that, we ended up becoming a team. And we were in the ring cutting a promo on him about watch your belts and whatever. We thought it was a great promo. Well, his drunk ass comes up into the ring in the middle of our promo, and he's like, shoot on me, will ya? Well, I'll tell you, I'll get you won't have your ass here in King Style at all. And I looked at Tommy, I was like, is this a work? Does he realize is a work? And so he kicked our ass out of King Style there for a while, and just for no other reason than he was either too drunk or too just not smart into the business or whatever. I mean, we were just cutting a promo on the belts, watch your belts, whatever. And so it was right then I knew I had to scoot someplace else besides there.
All right. At that point, where'd you go?
Mid-South Wrestling, based out of Houma, Louisiana. They had TV in Louisiana and Mississippi. And actually, Tommy jumped ship, I don't know, maybe a month before I did.
Okay.
But after that incident, we ended up going back to King Style for a while. And then Tommy bailed, and then I got the book at King Style for a little while. And we did real good, which all the wrestlers were shitty, so it was all storylines.
How did you feel comfortable booking?
Oh, loved it. Hell yes. I was writing stuff down constantly. Well, I grew up on Mid-South, and they had on Bill Watts' Mid-South, and they were like the shocking angles, just always excitement, and I think that influenced me a lot as far as my booking style.
Okay. So from King Style, where you had the book, you then went to Mid-South where there was TV. So obviously they were doing something right because they were on TV and they were drawing a crowd.
Oh, yeah.
So you went from booker to guy on TV.
Yeah.
And what was the progression for that? How long in your career were you, or how long have you been doing it up to the point where you're on TV now?
Let me see, 96, I think I was in Mid-South, and started in Mid-South in 98. And I came in, and like I said, Tommy had left just a little before me, and so I came in as his manager at first for like a match or two, and then they had us teaming up in Mid-South also.
Were you doing the alternate reality gimmick?
That started in Mid-South. We were teaming in King Style, but we were called the Brotherhood. There was me and Mercury and a guy called Sirus LaVey. His name was Mike Lay. And we were just three buddies. We just hit it off, and so we were like, the three of us called each other the Brotherhood, just privately, just a little funny thing,
right.
And so when we became a tag, we were like, naturally, we'll just call it the Brotherhood. And then we went to Mid-South, and I had a band called Beckon, and one of our songs was called Alternate Reality, and they were looking for a name for our tag team, and I don't remember. I think Crazy Joe heard that and said, yeah, that's the name of your team.
Okay, Crazy Joe was...
I can't remember. It was either Joe or Mark, John Saxon.
Okay.
I'm thinking it was Crazy Joe.
Crazy Joe was a wrestler from Mid-South at this point.
Yes, yes. Wrestler, and what else? I don't know who actually owned it, if it was Joe and Mark or who it was.
Okay.
I thought it was Joe, but
Joe.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think actually technically Kent Truth owned it, but Joe and Mark kind of called the shots.
Okay.
But I know Kent Truth is the guy who originally came up with the money. He was the money guy.
Okay. And had you met John Saxon or Crazy Joe prior to working with them in Mid-South?
I hadn't met them. I knew who John Saxon was because he wrestled over in Mississippi before also, and had a lot of respect for him. He had a different gimmick back then. It was kind of like a Tasmaniac gimmick. And I don't know if it's true or not, but the rumor is that Taz actually called him and told him, "You better fucking stop using that gimmick," because they would call in the results to like the dirt sheets, Pro Wrestling Torch or the Observer or whoever, and I guess it got back to him. But as soon as he got that call, he quit being the little Taz character or whatever.
I heard that story too.
Yeah, I mean it's a shoot. I've seen tapes of him wrestling, and he looked like the Tasmaniac, before Taz was the Suplex King guy.
Right, the shoot fighter guy.
Yeah, when he was like the Savage or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like he was out of the Flintstones.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you said that in King Style, the workers weren't great, that it was more storyline driven. Now all of a sudden you're in Mid-South.
Mm-hmm.
How were the workers in Mid-South?
Oh, it was like night and day, man. Mid-South. I learned, I learned how to get shot on. A lot of dudes would just beat your ass. I didn't, like I said, King Style, they never smartened me up to anything. I didn't know to shake everybody's hand. I didn't know any of this crap. So while I thought I was being respectful by going into the locker room and just being quiet and not, acting like an ass, I didn't realize this, but to the guys there, they're like, "Who's these boys from Mississippi who won't talk to nobody or whatever?" Mm-hmm. And so, it sucks for me, but there was all these 300-pounders wanting to beat my ass, and they got me kayfabed off TV for not shaking their hand and stuff. So for like, I don't remember, 3 months or so, 3 to 6 months, we weren't on TV because of politics or whatever.
You and Merc were doing the same thing? Mm-hmm. As far as just kind of sitting there and being quiet?
Yeah. Hell, we'd bring a book. We'd bring books, and sit there and read books, just trying not to, offend anybody or piss anybody off or whatever. Because, I mean, it's just, Mid-South is like an old school locker room, and they believed in kayfabe. They kept heels and faces better not be seen in public together and all that good stuff. So, I mean, a lot of stuff that I had already believed in, personally, as far as kayfabe and stuff, they practiced, which I loved. But I'll be honest with you, brother, it was scary at first, because like I said, a lot of them guys, they had bad intentions. And
how old were you at this point?
Oh, crap, man. How much do we have to shoot on this interview? In my mid-20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you were on TV. Mm-hmm. And at any point did you try to say, "Hey, guys, I've booked before. I've got really good ideas"?
Oh, hell no. Hell no. No, not in that locker room.
No?
No, first of all, you got to understand their mindset. Most of them dudes have been in the business quite a few more years than I, and who's this green dick? They're not going to listen to me. Sure. So I knew better than to even, if I had brought that up, I probably would have gotten beaten even worse than I did, and they, would have been justified.
Right. Worst beating you took?
Worst beating? Hell.
In Mid-South, and from whom?
Well, we pretty much had a series of matches against Joe and Mark, and I like to say, and a lot of people have heard me say, they beat the stupid out of us. I didn't know what a hot tag was, so I would be like, "Is it time to tag? Is it time to tag?" Boom, kick me in my head. Well, I guess it isn't